Oh boy, we have an emergency episode here, y'all. We have an emergency episode, and it's not involving the Knicks. But let's see what we got here. Do you see these two dudes on my screen, man? These guys are going to be in the in the jerseys opposite of each other next season. Why? Because the Grizzlies have traded Desmond Bane to the Magic for Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Cole Anthony, and damn, I thought it was four unprotected first round picks and one first round pick swap. So a total of 5 picks for Desmond Bane. Boy, oh boy. What are my thoughts on this, bruh? What are my thoughts on this? The Magic, throughout that whole playoff run versus the Celtics, which was obviously 5 games. I don't know if I said it in my Celtics series recap vid where I talked about both the Magic and the Bucks, but I don't know if I said this, but there were a lot of points in that series against the Celtics where I was like, Dad, this is where they miss Jalen Suggs because he can counteract what Derek White and Drew Holiday can do. But now you get a bona fide scorer who can give you 20 a game, and he's a dog on both ends of the floor. Whereas KCP was nothing but a bricklayer. And as much as I do love KCP and what he's done throughout his tenure in this league, winning a chip with my Lakers, being a big integral part on why we won in the bubble, and being a big integral part on why the Nuggets won in 2023. I'm looking at KCP's averages right now. KCP, in the 5 games he played against the Magic, he averaged 33 minutes, averaged 5 points, 5 points a game, with his highest being 8-point games in games 4 and 5, shooting 26% from three and 26% from the field. So, and obviously the Ryan was kind of on the wall for Kenny Pope when he kind of pushed Al Horford. I think it was game one of that series, and then both Al and Kenny were just going back and forth with each other. I don't know. I think that was like the writing on the wall there, or the writing was on the wall there. So I do like Cole Anthony though. I like his play style. Good combo guard. He can play some defense. I think the thing with the Grizzlies too is that this gives Scottie Pippen Jr. a bigger role. I think because of what Scottie Jr. was able to do in with the Grizzlies in a full season with Ja Morant, I think they felt like Des Bane was expendable, and as a result they traded him to Orlando. And this past postseason, he wasn't all that great either. He shot 21%, 22% from three actually, and 31% from the field. So yeah, he wasn't all that better, but he still gave you 15 a game in the playoffs. And this past season, he averaged 19 and 6 off of really good splits. 48% from the field and 39% from three. So he was pretty good. And again, he's a consistent 20-point scorer since his rookie year. Like his lowest was probably his career lows were probably his first 2 years in the league. And then the 2022-23, when the Grizzlies were the second seed again, he averaged 21 and a half a game. And the games he played in Memphis the season prior, he averaged 23.8 or 23.7, excuse me. So this is what I love about the Orlando Magic. The Magic get a supplementary scorer next to Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, and to an extent Jalen Suggs. I think because there was a lot of injuries on that Magic squad this past year, it forced pressure on let's run it back like this. I think Paolo Banchero was the first to get hurt. It put a lot of pressure on Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs. Franz gets hurt. It put a lot of pressure on Jalen Suggs, or vice versa. Either way, because those three went down, it really wasn't an easy task for Orlando to sustain what they can sustain with those three guys, especially if one of the three were out. And it was clear as day that Franz and Paolo missed Jalen Suggs in that series. I think he could have been a difference playing. Again, he could have countered what Derek White and Drew Holiday were doing. But when you get a guy like Des Bane, like I said, you get another guy that could really take a lot of pressure off of those three, especially if one of them goes down with injury. Now, as far as the Magic goes, and for the rest of the off season until obviously training camp that starts in September, the Magic, I don't think they're done yet either. I think this is just the first of many moves they could make to be a legit playoff contender. Now, the thing is, now that Cole is out of the picture, and now he's probably going to come off the Grizzlies bench because I think the Grizzlies they may I think they're going to start Scotty Jr. With Jalen Wells once Jalen gets back healthy, or maybe they could start KCP if anything. So it'll be Kenny Pope, and Jalen. But as far as the Magic goes, I think they're just getting started. They're starting to cook a little bit. This is just the first domino to fall. I think their depth chart, I think, is also going to be a factor going forward too, because I'm gonna look at their their depth chart right now. So Corey Joseph, Corey Joseph, Des Bane, Franz, Paulo, and Wendy Carter, but replace Corey with Jalen Suggs. And then you have Gary Harris. I think he's out of there. Jonathan Isaac, Goga Batadze, Mo Wagner, who will come back next year. They might give Trev Queen more minutes, and obviously Anthony Black has been a bit of a standout as well. But I think they could bolster their bench by getting someone like a Bruce Brown. Because think about it like this, y'all. When Bruce was coming off the bench for the Denver Nuggets, Bruce was able to do a lot of things. He was a one-man Swiss Army knife because he could rebound, he could defend, he could hit threes, he could shot create, he can run the offense to take pressure off of Jamal Murray. If they get a guy like Bruce Brown off their bench, that's going to be huge because he could do the things that Gary Harris can do, but better. And that would be a compliment to a guy like Anthony Black and J.I. and Batadze, and obviously Mo Wagner as well. And then I kind of been playing with the idea, bro, that they could explore a potential Anthony Davis trade. Now, this is swinging for the fences because obviously they would have to give up Franz Wagner and probably a lot of picks to get AD. But if they could pull off that Houdini out of their hat, this team will be a formidable Eastern Conference opponent in the playoffs. Because to think about like this, they'll have Jalen Suggs, Des Bane, Paolo, AD, and Wendy Carter Jr. And if they have to, they might move Wendy Carter. They might sign someone like Gafford. I mean, yeah, they might trade for Gafford too, or they may sign someone like Clint Capella. You never know. But when you have, if they somehow pull that Houdini out of their rabbit hat, or they pull that rabbit out of the hat, or however the hell you say it, this Orlando Magic team is going to be really freaking good next year. I mean, they already upgraded from Contavious to Desmond Bane. Like, it's clear as day that that's a big time upgrade, even though both of them were kind of crap in the playoffs in their own respective ways. But I don't know, man. This is going to be really, really freaking good for the Magic. Now, when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies, obviously, like I alluded to earlier, they're going to start KCP next to Jalen Suggs, or they might have Scottie Pippen Jr. Start next to Ja, because when Scottie Jr. was in the starting lineup, Scottie Jr. actually played really well. Let me look at his averages really quick, because I know that this move freed up him and Jalen Wells to really how do you say it, have a bigger role in the offense, whether Scottie comes off the bench, or hell, there's a possibility that he himself could start next to John next season. You look at what he did in the 4-game sweep against the OKC Thunder, who, again, one more episode of Series Recap, y'all. It's either this Thursday or this Sunday. But Scottie Jr. averaged 18 a game, shooting 35% from three, 38% from the field, and had two really good games in games 3 and games 3 and 4. You know, he had 28 game 3. Obviously, that's where they blew the 29-point lead, and the writing was on the wall for the Memphis Grizzlies at that point. And then he had 30 points in the closeout game, which he actually played pretty well, but unfortunately he fouled out. So yeah. And the thing is that they kept it close, but again, those games could have been a lot different if Ja were playing. That's just my opinion. But Scotty Jr. gets a bigger role in the offense. Jalen Wells, he's going to be the primary the starting three guy. He's Dylan Brooks' replacement, and Scotty Jr. is going to be Desmond Bane's replacement. Now, the thing that I'm wondering, bro, is, well, does this mean the Memphis Grizzlies are rebuilding? I may make a video about it during the offseason. In the offseason, I'm also going to upload like gameplay videos from like the vault from like years past and all that other stuff. I might do that, or but again, I'll be making videos like this talking about the future of the teams, and I might start off with the Memphis Grizzlies because I already have videos planned for teams like the Denver Nuggets and the Detroit Pistons and the Lakers and the Clippers. But as far as the Memphis Grizzlies go, bro, I don't know where the hell they go from here because one side of me is thinking, okay, they want to the old way wasn't working because there's a reason why they got rid of Dylan Brooks. There's a reason why they got rid of Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton. Actually, the latter two are for stupid reasons. Dylan Brooks was kind of a stupid reason too. But they try to run it back. They try to go like a more younger, humble. They try to go for like a younger, humble approach. But then again, John Moran did the little grenade celery thing. Like, all right, dude. Like, but now it's just like the old way wasn't working. So let's retool and get a guy that has won 2 championships and that could transfer some championship knowledge to guys like Jaren, to guys like Ja. But at the same time, getting Cole Anthony, and then you see the emergence of Scotty Jr., who could be a star guard. Would that mean that the Grizzlies trade Ja? Because think about it. There has been some rumblings throughout the year that the Grizzlies might trade Ja. They might trade Jaren Jackson Jr. And at this point, I can't really say if it's true or not because it's kind of hard to tell because they could run it back with Ja and Jaren next year with new pieces, new faces on the squad. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't know where they go because you had 2 seasons where y'all were the second seed and you guys looked like you were ready to take off. And you just happened to run into a buzzsaw. One was Stephen Clay and Draymond with Jordan Poole. The other was LeBron, AD, and D'Angelo Russell with Vanderbilt and Reeves. So, and then you missed the playoffs the next year with Marcus Smart. And you guys I actually expected the Grizzlies to make a lot of noise this year because, okay, Marcus Smart's on the team. He's been there and done that with Boston. But now you trade him to Washington. I forgot who they traded. I think they traded him for Marvin Bagley, and Marvin didn't really play much in the Grizzlies uni. But now you blow a 29-point lead. Ja gets hurt, and now all of a sudden it's like, yo, I don't know where the Grizzlies go from here. Because yeah, they have a lot of draft picks now, which is pretty good. They have a lot of draft capital, but you traded your second best player that was probably Ja's best compliment, obviously outside of Jaren Jackson Jr. So right now, and my mom was asking earlier, bro, that why didn't they trade Ja too? Because right now Desmond Bane's the more expendable piece, and he's the cheaper option. Whereas Ja, I think Ja signed an extension, if I'm not mistaken. Run that by me. So if he does get a trade, it's going to be a bigger deal than this. You know what I'm saying? So, but right now, this is kind of like the start of like a potential rebuild, a potential retool. They might run it back with Jaffer and Jaren for one more year. But as far as I'm concerned, this might be the beginning of the end for the Memphis Grizzlies as we once knew them. Because what was a once young, promising team that looked like a fun that looks like a really fun team to watch. Like, think about this, y'all. They're supposed to be what the Indiana Pacers are right now, what the OKC Thunder are right now, and what the Minnesota Timberwolves are. They were supposed to be in that upper echelon of teams, but because of turbulence between former Grizzlies players that moved on to other teams, and then you have something like this that popped up. I don't know. There's a chance that you might not see John Morant or Jaren Jackson Jr. or both in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform next year. But again, as far as the Magic goes, I do think they won the trade. I could be wrong, and I won't have a problem with me being wrong because Cole Anthony's a dog, and KCP he's still got enough juice left in him, even at this juncture of his career. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here, man, and explain my quick 2 cents about the KCP for Bane trade. Um, again, series recap. I'm at the very, very end. I'm not gonna do any episodes until the finals are over. That's when I'll wrap up series recap entirely. I love doing this, man. I'm so happy to be back on YouTube after a long hiatus. Um, and y'all, and every single one of y'all made me feel so grateful to do this again, man. So appreciate the love, guys. But series recap, the final episode will be coming this Thursday or Sunday, depending on what happens. But until then, that's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.